to Intro to IO Psychology. I will be your professor this semester. So basically, today is just an overview of the class. Should be relatively short. We won't take up the entire class time. But if you have any questions throughout, apparently don't use the chat because that doesn't work unless you're a team member. And I'll work on fixing that. But just say something and I'll stop and answer your questions. This will also be recorded, and I will post it in the announcement after class. And yeah, let's get started. So first, you're going to get to know me a little bit better. I'm going to let you know a little bit about the class goals, how the class will be structured this semester as well, um, in terms of when we're meeting, when we're not meeting, all of the assignments that you'll have to do, and then I'll just open it up for questions. But again, feel free to ask any questions that you have throughout the little overview today. So yeah, that's me. I got my PhD from the University of Central Florida in industrial organizational psychology. We had our first child when I was in grad school. That's this one right here. You can't see that. I think I can change that though. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully you can see the little red dot. That one right there, his name is Liam. And while I was in grad school, I studied a lot of teams. I still do, but I studied teams then too. I did a postdoc combined at Purdue and Penn, where I worked with Louis Tay and Angela Duckworth. Probably heard the latter, not the former. While we're in Indiana, we had our second child here, Emerson, doing her Charlie Manson impression. There, I kind of shifted gears and started researching vocal well-being. And then now I'm assistant professor at Georgia Tech. I've been here for about 3 years now. When we had our third child, and I started studying things like the commute and role transitions. And I love my family very much. They're very active, as you might be able to hear upstairs. But I'm definitely not moving again if that means that we're going to have another child. And we're done. Next one. So, class goals. Learn about IO Psych. Done. A little bit more than that. So we spend so much of our freaking lives at work, right? We're physically at work. This only includes the time that we physically spend at work. It doesn't include the time that we spend commuting, working from home, thinking about work, um, having kids do gymnastics upstairs while I'm lecturing. I think that's actually what they're doing. But anyways, work is essential to like the human experience, right? Like everyone works in some way or form, and what IO psychology is the application um, and development of psychological principles to the workplace. And you learn a lot of formal stuff in this class that won't affect you on a day-to-day basis, like different types of job analyses, the histories of leadership theory, different recruitment procedures. Like information that's nice to know if we're passing this course, but you really won't think about too much after you leave. But you'll also learn some other things that'll affect you, I think, in your day-to-day lives because everyone's going to work. Um, so, what should I look for in a good job? How do I build a successful team? How do I stay motivated even though my work sucks? How do I maintain my well-being in this crazy work world? So you'll learn these things, and hopefully you'll be thinking about this class throughout your work career because there are some important takeaways that you can have. So that's my two learning goals, right? Giving you that content knowledge that the course is based on, but also giving you something that you may be able to take away from this course and use on in your day-to-day life. So here's the class schedule. So as you can see, I tried to be as flexible as possible with this. So there's going to be right here. You have these pre-recorded lectures, and I want you guys to stick to these schedules, but I understand that some individuals may not be able to stick to them, whether it's internet issues or different time zones or some like caretaking responsibilities. So I want to make sure that you have all of these lectures at your disposal. I recommend you setting aside, if you don't have any of these barriers, I recommend you setting aside time or normal class time to watch them. They're not longer, and some of them are shorter than our class period. But if you can't, that's why I provide them asynchronously. So there'll be videos that'll be posted either on YouTube or the Microsoft Stream. I wanted to have them all on Microsoft Stream by today, but I've literally been uploading the first group of lectures since yesterday, and the first one isn't even done. It's been like 12 hours. So I put it on YouTube for the first little bit, and I think I'll continue doing that unless I get too many copyright claims, which I already have. So that's fine. Anyways, so you'll have these group of content lectures here, and then because I may not be clear or you may have other questions, we'll have this kind of recap discussion lecture later on. So I'll show you in just a little bit, but there are these discussion postings where you're just like, all right, you weren't clear on, say, this particular type of job analysis. Could you please explain that more? And what I'll do is organize a lecture around these clarifying questions, so that, like, if something wasn't clear or you didn't understand something, or you'd like to know more about something, I can go over that in these synchronous lectures. And then we'll also have debates, which will also be synchronous. So there's two types of synchronous lectures here. We have these recap discussion lectures, as well as these debates, which we'll get to in a little bit. Even though, I'd like to say, even though the quizzes are all due, say, after the recap, you can always take them beforehand. They'll be released as soon as this group of lectures are released, and I recommend you taking it before. Throughout the semester, we'll also have mental health days where I know you guys don't get a spring break and are probably overloaded. Some instructors are giving you more classes, like more work than you're typically required. So I built in a couple of mental health days here and here. So right before, actually kind of during the exam one, which shouldn't take you a week to do, but I provided a week to do it. And then right before the final exam. Any questions until I go into a little bit more detail about the structure, what these classes are, and the schedule? What are your assignments?
Is the exam 2 just the final exam?
It is. Yeah, and it's not comprehensive, so like it's only on the second half of the course. We'll go over that in a little bit.
Is there a particular date when exam 2 is due by?
Yeah, it's on these slides a little bit later, but it's actually after our scheduled final exam time. I just want to give you guys a little bit more time to work on it. Cool. So I kind of just went over this already. There's going to be two different types of classes here. So we have your asynchronous and your synchronous classes. The asynchronous will be your content lectures, pre-recorded lectures on each topic. They'll be released in groups from 2 to 4 questions chapters at a time. So group 1 is Intro to IO, IO research methods, and job analysis. So all of those will be available right away. You can watch at your leisure, but you should probably stay on schedule, which I provided on the previous slide. We'll also have synchronous classes, which will either be a review/discussion class or a debate class. So the review or discussion class will be exactly that. We'll review a particular group of lectures, where I'll start off by presenting some highlights and then answer any of the questions that you have on it. In that class, we'll also discuss current topics in I/O, which will be organized around a topic, not academic journal. I decided not to do that, but didn't update these slides. And these synchronous classes will probably happen like twice a month. Or these review classes will happen once or twice a month. We'll also have debate classes, which is an assignment, and that's when you guys will participate in debating a topic live. And I'll go into what that debate assignment is in just a little bit. Any questions on the administration of the course?
How many debate classes will we have? Because I don't see like debate. I just see the review and discussion classes
Yep.
on the schedule.
So this is any time it's like it's going to be 5, and we'll have 2 debates each. So the first debate is February 8th, and then I'll debate this topic, and then of course the next one, nudges and performance ratings here, and then AI recruitment selection, job performance or worker well-being, and the dark side of OCBs. And the last debates here, thinking about robots and teammates and whether leadership needs the concept of emotional intelligence. So it'll be 5.
Also, do we have to do all of them, or like every?
No. I'm gonna assign. It's like a alternative to the group assignment, really, or a group project. Group projects, I've discovered, really, it's a lot of work to work well in an in-person scenario, and it's nearly impossible to work well in an asynchronous online, well, I guess officially hybrid class. And so I had this debate assignment from my previous from last year, and everyone loved it, and it worked really well, and it got people together to work on stuff. So I felt drop the group project entirely, so you guys don't have to worry about that. So you only have to do one topic.
Okay.
There will be some standard old quizzes, as you saw those due dates in this class. Instead of being officially due weekly, they'll be due immediately after the review/discussion. So right here, you'll see this is the time you should be covering intro. This is the time you should be covering I/O research methods. This is the time you should be covering job analysis. And you could take these quizzes, on their respective weeks, but again, trying to be flexible with you all. It's not due until after the recap class. And the reason why it's not due until after the recap class is in case you have questions that need clarifying. And I want to make sure that everyone does well in this class, and yeah, that's why I did that. There are 13 quizzes. They're going to be worth 10 points apiece, which is 130 points total. 10 questions, each worth 1 point each. It's not here, but probably later in the slides. But your lowest quiz I drop and then replace it with the average of your other 12. Okay. Any questions about the quizzes? I am 100%. They're doing some sort of virtual pre-K. Make sure you get active today. Stuff upstairs. Anyway, so exams, there are going to be 2 exams, 100 points each. They're going to be take-home exams. I think most of you answered, I'm okay with the whole lockdown situation and proctoring and all that crap. And most of you answered like, no, I definitely don't want to do that. So this is my sort of solution to that. They're going to be due about a week after the release. There'll be some multiple choice questions, but not a whole lot, and there'll be different versions. So I will assign you all a version of the exam, and it's like, here, download this, take this, and then the multiple choice questions will differ across the exams. There'll also be short answer questions. So I will give you, let's say, 10 short answer question topics to answer. Like you'll have like 10 options, and then I'll say pick 7. Like pick the ones that you feel most comfortable in answering. Exam 1 is released, we'll cover these topics right here, and it'll be released March 8th, due a week later. And then exam 2, which will be released on 4/26, and then due May 3rd. We do have a final exam time scheduled, but I won't be using that, so you don't have to worry about that. Any questions on the exam?
Are the short answer questions just like a few sentences long?
No, you'll have a week to do it, so it's probably at least 2 paragraphs on it. I really want you to think about it, because it'll be application, like they'll be organized in terms of like what you need to write in these short answers. So one will, like the first paragraph you should probably write is reviewing what you know about a particular topic, or what you've been taught regarding a particular topic. And the second will be like the application to a particular problem. Like say an organization comes to you, wants you to conduct a job analysis, and you need to pick the type of job analysis that you're going to use, and then explain why you're going to use it. So it'll be broken down like that. So there'll be kind of clear content, what content I'm expecting with these short answer questions.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about the exam? Cool. All right, debates. So we'll have 10 debates throughout the course, and this will be like your group project. So it's going to be a good amount of your grade here too. We'll have 10 debates in IO psychology, and they answer a variety of different questions. So which degree has a better utility? A master's degree or a PhD in IO psych? So why the hell do I want to spend 5 to 7 years in a PhD program if I can get paid relatively the same and do more, have a more proximal impact with a master's degree? So we'll debate that in class. Or are online panels valid research subjects? So do we actually need to get employees to study organizational phenomenon? Can we just like shove it off to MTurk and get a whole bunch of random people to answer these questions? So this is what you're going to be debating in the course. And like I said, there's 10 debates, and you'll be required to do 2 things. So you'll be graded on 2 things. One, the first thing is your debate submission form. So how well did your group prepare at the debate? Was the speech well prepared, and did you anticipate any counter arguments? This is due before the debate. It's basically to show that you spent time actually thinking about this rather than making it up when your debate day was. The other part of it is your debate evaluation form, which I'll be grading like live basically, and that's worth 100 points. How well did you lay out your arguments? Did you follow through on your points? How clear and strong were your arguments? How clear, strong were your rebuttals? Did you use your time efficiently? And I'll provide these forms to you so you can see how I'll be grading you. You also have the opportunity to earn bonus points through winning the vote. So in those live courses, we'll be using something I haven't decided yet to get students to vote on which side won. And the more votes you get, the more bonus points you get. I swear, like elephants up there. And so if you get 60% of the votes, you'll get 9 bonus points. If that makes sense. And then I can give out 5 stylistic points. So having humor in your speech or dressing up like a formal debate. And yeah, so I will definitely grant those points if you meet the criteria. So yeah, there will be someone can let that person in. That'd be super great. There are 2 sides to debate and like one group, if that makes sense. There will be the proposition and opposition. So one team of students, so 4 to 5, depending on how the enrollment of this class finishes up. And then it'll be split in half, so 2 to 3 students per each slide. The reason why I'm doing this is because you'll also be, I'm going to say this down here, but interviewing some IO psychologists who are experts in this topic, like written articles on the particular debate that you are assigned or that you have interest in. So how will you get information about the topic, like the debate? Well, I'll provide you a debate overview, which basically is like, here's a paragraph on 2 sides, and then also some additional resources like articles for each side of the debate. And then you'll also interview IO psychologists who are experts in this area. So you'll have 1 interview per debate topic. So if you'll be interviewing the same person as your competition, just like the New England Patriots who watch the other team practice. I just don't like the Patriots, so that's why that's there. Anywho, so this one team will consist of both the proposition and opposition, and the only reason why you're like a whole team is so you're not like interviewing the same person like 4 or 5 times. But it gives you a preview of what your the opposing position might say. Again, like the New England Patriots who watched other teams practice. Let's see. I think there's one more slide onto debates. So what happens on debate days? This is a synchronous class, and there'll be a set structure. So opening remarks will be by me introducing the debate. Speaker 1 from the proposition will go first, and you'll have 4 minutes. Then the opposition, 4 minutes. Speaker 2 for the proposition, you'll get 4 minutes, and then speaker 2 for the opposition, you'll also get 4 minutes. Then debate from the floor. This might be chaos. We'll see how it works online. So if you're not doing a debate that day, so if your debate topic isn't that day, you should show up because that's part of your participation points. But then you will be the one asking questions for the proposition and opposition to answer. And this could get chaotic, especially online, but that's good. Chaos is fun. And then we'll wrap things up with the proposition having final remarks for 2 minutes, and then final remarks of the opposition for another 2 minutes. And then some important debates. So I'll have your teams assigned, or ask you to assign your topic you're most interested in by January 22nd. So that's 2 days from now. Then, I'm sorry. No, not the topics. This will be team assignments. So who you'll be pairing up with. I think like I said, January 22nd is the last date to add or drop. So that's why I'm waiting until this date. Debate sign up will be from the 25th to the 27th. So I'll give you 2 days, really 3, to sign up for a particular topic. I'll sign interviewees on the 27th. I already have them like just about ready to go, and who's going to be the interviewee for which topic. So this should be relatively easy. So once debate signups finish, I'll be able to sign you an interviewee. And then our first debate is February 8th. So it's a relatively quick turnaround, but there are also some of the easier topics, like it doesn't require as much reading or literature to form a good position. on the debate, on the whichever side you have. So, any topics or what topics? Any questions on the debate assignment?
Yeah, I have a question.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go. Okay. Are we assigning our own teams or are you assigning us teams?
I'll probably assign you teams just so you can get some just because it's easier, I think, logistically, because a bunch of other people will not. I'll assign you guys teams.
Okay, thank you.
There's another question.
Yeah, I was just wondering. So you have 10 debate topics, but you said that you get to choose which topic to use. So how many debates did you get each student end up doing?
So I heard the part about we have 10 debate topics, and then I didn't hear the question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if there's 10 topics, then you get to pick which ones you want. How many does each student complete?
You only have to do one. So it'll be 10 groups, and then 10 debates. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Any other questions about the debate? Cool. All right, so class assignments, participation. So for each group of lectures, remember for the first one, it's like chapters 1, 2, and 3. I'll be asking you to ask questions. And these questions will be your kind of opportunity to think about a particular topic and how it relates to what's going on today. So it could be related to COVID, social justice, techno-ethics. So here are some example questions. What does effective leadership look like in a remote work situation? How are job search behaviors affected by the current pandemic? Things like that. Just anything that kind of piques your interest, like what if, or like how's it apply to like this particular scenario. And there'll be discussion postings online where you can post your questions. So you'll have to post before you can see the responses, just to make sure everyone's contributing unique ideas. But I also want you to like these. Because I'm not going to be able, with a class of 50 students, I'm not going to be able to cover all of them in the discussion class. So I want you to like the comments and maybe add your own 2 cents to see sort of what we're going to be covering during the discussion class. Because I may not have the answer. I'm organizing these sort of lectures on the fly. Which I did last semester too. It led to some really good discussion. It was kind of like strenuous trying to put it all together because I can't prepare for the unknown. But I think it's good to have that as for you to engage in the material a little bit more. So I'll organize the lectures based upon your questions, and some of this material is going to be on the exam. So each of your questions should be relevant to the topics we just covered. So for your discussion questions are due February 1st, and so they should be your first discussion question assignment, February 1st, and it should be related to these topics right here. Any questions about the discussion questions?
I have a question.
Yep.
Where would we submit the discussion questions? Is on Canvas?
Yeah, it'll be on Canvas. So the postings are already set up, so we'll release, I think, today, and then it'll close down at 11:59 on February 1st.
Oh, okay. And it just has to be a question that we find it's interesting.
Yeah, basically related, but it should be related to
Yeah, of course.
these 3 areas. And yeah, not a problem. And I'll be making announcements throughout the semester to remind you that in particular things should do. Okay?
Are we writing? So we're writing the questions, but are we answering questions too, or are we just like creating questions? Are we answering other people's? Like, what are we?
So for this one, you're just writing questions or maybe adding your 2 cents on last semester when I did this, COVID was just happening, right? And so one of the things was on group teamwork virtually. And it was how do you get teams to engage virtually? And one of the students actually, was talking about how their boss had started using these collaboration tools like Teams or Slack or GroupMe or whatever, less in addition to like task-based stuff, but as well as team-based stuff. So like each week there'd be a poll to like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor or something like that, and that would help people get into the habit of engaging with the collaboration tool. So comments like that, I think, are really appreciated. You don't have to answer the question like from a literature sense, but if you have something that's like, yeah, that's a good question, here's an example, that's what you should be doing.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any other questions related to that? Cool. And then you'll also be get 70 points for general participation. So this is like, you don't have to ask clarifying questions, but if you do, you'll get some points. You'll also get points for answering clarifying questions. So if you see somebody's like, well, what's the type of job analysis that looks at data, people, and things, and you're like, oh, that's a functional job analysis, then you can get points for that. Interacting with discussions online, that's what I just mentioned, like not answering, but like commenting on someone's discussion question from this assignment. Asking questions during both synchronous sessions, so like when you're participating in the debate, when it opens up to the floor, asking questions there, during a recap class, kind of interacting there as well. So that's just general participation across the course. Any questions with the general participation bit? Cool. So this is how it breaks down. 130 points for quizzes, exam 1 and 2, 100 points each, debates 200, and then participation totals 170 points, and then the grading point breakdown. So yeah, this is on a 10-point scale if you want to do the math, but so like 627 is like 89.5 or something like that. I will have extra credit. There'll be extra credit through SONA. In the syllabus, there's specific things like movie reviews, article critiques, and a summary of departmental talks, which will be coming up, and I'll let you know when those are coming up. Those are like the official mechanisms to earn extra credit, but there'll be tons of other opportunities, like in the debate. If you win, you get more extra credit. I might have it in some quiz questions. I'm not entirely sure about that, but there'll be totally extra credit on the exams. Adding timestamps to the YouTube videos. I thought about this morning. That might be a good opportunity to earn extra credit. For example, like when do I talk about functional job analysis, and adding a timestamp via a comment. And then catching lecture mistakes or quiz mistakes, you guys would get some extra credit for that. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of extra credit there. Any questions about extra credit?
Yeah, I have a question. So these other opportunities, do they add up to more than 20 points?
I mean, this is like just kind of like on the fly. I'm going to give you extra credit.
Got it.
So the debate, if you get 100%, that's 15 points there. So yeah, but this is like officially capped, right? Like this is 2 point. I think it's like a little bit more, like 3 percentage points of your grade or something like that you can earn through official means, and then just other random stuff. So if you do all of these, like 100%, get all of the extra credit questions, yeah, I'll probably add up to more than 20 points.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions about extra credit?
For SOTA, is all we have to do have the credits like assigned to the course, or do we have to do something written about it after?
No. Yeah, credits assigned to a course. You don't have to do anything written. Cool. Lingering questions? Extra credit? Awesome. So student well-being, I did want to mention this for a minute. I take this very seriously, as like the way I designed this course is trying to optimize it so it's least stressful for you. I have a very open door or digital door policy. I have office hours at these 2 times, but really any other time, just send me an email. I will post this later, but I'm trying to use that Microsoft booking thing where it shows you have like a 30-minute availability, and you can just click on it, sign up. Don't even have to email me what it's about. Then we can chat. And like I said, I built this class for you to experience some autonomy and flexibility, but also have that sort of structure as well if you need that. Built-in mental health days, and then lecture breaks, which you'll experience once you start watching the lecture. But these activities mid-lecture, which you can skip through if you want, but are really there to kind of break the monotony of the lecture and try and get you to do something a little bit for yourself in the middle of these longer lectures. Frequently asked questions. Will I record lectures? Yeah, I'll post them by group, like I said before. At the latest, because of like upload issues like I'm having now, they'll be posted before the first scheduled lecture within a particular group. So I'm trying to get them like intro to IO uploaded now. Like I wanted to release that today, but I'm having like tech issues. So technically we would be covering that Monday, but and that would be the latest day that this lecture would be uploaded. Will I post other classes? Yeah, I'm going to be recording both the recap classes and the debate classes, and then we can then I'll be posting those as well. Do I need to attend class? Well, this is taking on a different meaning this semester. As you probably all know. So schedule a time like you're taking it synchronously to attend class. The flexibility afforded to you by these asynchronous classes is a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. Try your damnedest not to let these things pile up, because you could be watching this at like 2 o'clock in the morning and on the day before all the quizzes are due and not do super well in this class. So try and stick to the schedule, but I'm trying to make it as flexible as possible if you can. Will there be curving? Nope. If you look at the grades earned in my class, they're usually pretty high, and I've never curved, and so I have no reason to think that I would ever need to curve an exam or quiz or whatever. Will I be answering that emails at 2 a.m.? No. As you heard upstairs by the pitter patter, I have a 1, 4, and 7-year-old, and I'm going to take whatever sleep I can get, but I'll answer in the morning. If I don't answer within 24 hours, ping me again. I promise I won't get offended. What's one question I should ask myself before emailing me or Becca? Is it on the syllabus? most of this content that I'm covering today is on the syllabus. If you have a specific pronoun you'd like me to use, let me know, and I'll use it. If I am at 89.44444%, the greater I get, you'll still get a B. But if you really want an A, you'll still get a B. And frequently asked questions, probably. And now's your chance to ask me anything that you want to know about this class.
Is the textbook on the syllabus required, or?
Yeah, I mean, it is required. So there might be some things I don't go too deep into in the lecture. If you can find alternative means or older versions of it, then do that. I'm not going to tell you to buy a $150 textbook or whatever it is that you use for a semester and then put on a bookshelf somewhere and you'll never see it again, or send it back and get $20 for it. I have enough of those on my bookshelf over here, like Principles of Accounting. I haven't opened that book in like 10 years.
I think you said this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I can ask after.
Do we have any required readings?
Your required readings? Not really. Aside from probably the readings in the debate, you probably want to keep up. Like, when you're taking a quiz, which you have an hour to do, and it's 10 questions. You might want to have your book open just in case. It's more there to be a little bit more supplemental. But no official readings other than the book.
I think you said this at the beginning, but are the quizzes and exams both like completely open note, open lecture, open everything?
Yep. Open everything. If you don't want to learn anything in this course, then you can just really copy paste out a book. Please don't copy paste out a book. There are plagiarism checks on the exams, but you could just reference the book the entire time. But you won't learn anything that way. And a lot of the short answer questions will require you to have a good grasp on the material and apply it to a particular situation that is not mentioned in the book. Like, I can show you how to, I can tell you the steps in manufacturing. Like when you go to IKEA and they give you those instructions, those are nice, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be actually able to assemble it. And so what the exam is trying to do is get you at your ability to, scaffold that knowledge that you've gotten through the lectures and the discussion classes and apply that to a particular scenario. It's not going to ask you to give a history of the different types of job analysis or leadership trends throughout time. You'll actually have to know it and apply it to be able to answer those questions well. Any other questions? Now's the time to ask. Anytime's a good time to ask, but if you want to answer right away, it's a great time to ask.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
When you go to sign up for Sona, it doesn't show this class as one of the options.
Yeah, I need to talk to Megan about that, but it will show up.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Other questions, concerns? Let's see, how many people did we eventually get? 39, so only missing 5 or 6 people. Questions?
Hello, I have a question.
Yep.
So it seems like this course has many detailed breakdown in grading. So will we be able to trace all these through Canvas, or should we?
Yeah, all your grades are going to be through Canvas. So if you want to know what your scores are on the quizzes, exams, the debates, or what have you, that'll be up on Canvas. Extra credit up on Canvas. So there'll be that will be the place if you want to know how you're currently doing in the class. That's where you'll go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, if you all don't have any other questions, I'm looking forward to getting this content out to you and a great semester. Again, try to be on schedule, but also, you know, if you can't do it, let me know, and we can work together to make sure that you meet the learning goals of this class within the context of your current situation. All right. And I'll be, you know, asking for feedback throughout the semester. I always do. And I'll make adjustments based upon that. So, accessibility survey, go take it if you haven't. The lectures will be up as soon as they're uploaded to like either the Vault or Microsoft Stream or YouTube. And then yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions along the way, let me know, and I'll keep in touch with you throughout the semester. Sound good? I always take silence as affirmatives, so I'm glad you guys agree.
Sounds good.
All right. In that case, I'll give you back a little bit of your time this morning, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care, all.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.